In this module, we will be describing how to configure the IDMS directory and credential configurations. There's three main areas that we will cover. First is configuring the search directory. This is where the IDMS will locate the users it will credential. We will then configure the CMS provisioning policy. This configuration dictates how the IDMS will add users to the CMS. And then finally, we'll be discussing how to configure credential types. The purpose of this feature is to allow the user to be mapped to specific card policies. So in this example, we were going to start our directory configuration. Again, the directory purpose is to locate users that we will ultimately credential. So here we're putting in the basic DNS, port, the username, and then the password. Also, just a friendly name to help recognize which directory this is. And then for the search path, we need to make sure that we're locating users that the credential management system can. So as a tip, I'd like to go and use the directory information from my user group, copy it, and then place it to my IDMS just as a shortcut. And then the LDAP search feature or filter is what the IDMS will search on in the user request screen. Okay. After the directory connection's been added, I'd like to do a quick test, and we can see the directory connection is successful. So the next step is to configure the CMS provisioning policy. What this is it tells the IDMS how to submit a user to the credential management system. This is required because the IDMS needs to tell CMS where to put the user, as well as to tell CMS whether to use an existing user or create a new one. So the first thing we'll look at is the directory location. And this is where the credential management system is configured to currently locate its users. So here we'll put the DN path. Another trick I like to use is just using the user group DN path that's already configured in the credential management system. The next step is configuring the provision action. This tells CMS whether to use the existing user or add a new one. For more information, you can look in the user install guide for the exact provisioning configurations. After making the configuration, it's useful to perform a quick restart on your IIS and then just make sure you can connect to your card management system. The next step will be performing the configuration of the credential types. The importance of the credential type is it allows the IDMS to map a specific CMS card policy to a user. Also, you'll see that we can also put further rules in, so if we're searching for a user, they must meet certain criteria from the directory or other search repository before they can actually receive this credential type. So here we'll put the basic information in, the credential policy description, just a friendly name to describe what the credential type is doing. Also, you can upload a subscriber agreement. Note this must be in the RTF format. And what this is the subscriber agreement that will be downloaded to the client for the applicant to sign during their credentialing process. Here, the card policy, this is the card policy from the CMS. So if you assign a user to this credential type, it will be mapped to this card policy. Note the card policy must exist in the CMS, so I like to go to the CMS and copy the configuration in so I don't get it incorrect. And then here are our enforcement rules. Again, this is an LDAP attribute that will be queried for the user, and if the LDAP attribute meets the rule value or it contains the rule value, the user will be approved for this credential type. Okay, that concludes the directory, CMS provisioning, and credential type policy configurations.